we are going to study calorimetry. Now, what is calorimetry? Calorimetry is the science of measuring the heat absorbed or evolved during the course of chemical reaction or state of change. Okay, so now there are so many changes taking place around you. The weather change is taking place whenever the ice on the mountain melts in cold countries. The weather becomes cooler. Okay, or whenever the ice is getting formed on top of the mountain, then the weather becomes warm. Then ice cream is much cooler than ice cold water at 0 degrees Celsius. Then a wise farmer during a frosty weather fills his field with water. They are all related to calorimetry. Now, what is heat? Heat is a form of internal energy obtained due to random motion and attractive forces between the molecules of a substance. Unit of heat is joules or calorie. 1 calorie is 4.2 joules. Now, whenever you heat substance, there are the molecules which are there in the substance, they start vibrating. So the vibrations of these molecules constitute the heat. Okay, now what is temperature? It is the quantity which determines the direction of the heat on keeping the two bodies at different temperature at contact. Now the unit of temperature is Kelvin or degree Celsius. Now when you are having hot water for your bath, you always add cold water into it. That means you are mixing two waters at two different temperature. So that if you want it more warm, then you add little water, and if you want it less warm, if you want it lukewarm, then you add more cold water. So that constitutes the temperature. Now heat given to any substance depends on three factors: mass, specific heat, and temperature. So if the mass is more, then it takes longer time to heat. The mass is less, it takes less time to heat. Depends on specific heat capacity. Water takes long time to heat, whereas oil, it heats up faster. Then if supposing any substance is at a higher temperature, like 60 degrees or 70 degrees, it will be easy to get it to 100 degrees Celsius. Then a substance which is taken out from a fridge, which is 0 degrees, suppose, that will take longer time. Supposing when you have to heat very cold milk, then it takes a longer time. And if you want to heat milk which is already kept outside the fridge, then it takes little less time to heat up. So that all depends on mass, specific heat, and temperature. So now next is the unit of heat, calorie. Now what is the definition of calorie? It is the quantity of heat energy required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water through 1 degree Celsius. And what is kilocalorie? It is the quantity of heat energy required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water, 1 kg of water through 1 degree Celsius. Now learn all this definition. Now heat capacity, it is the amount of heat energy required to raise the temperature given mass of a substance by 1 degree Celsius. I'll repeat again. It is the quantity of heat required to raise the temperature of a given substance by 1 degree Celsius. Now, what is the difference between heat capacity and specific heat capacity? Heat capacity is directly proportional to specific heat capacity. That is, heat capacity is equal to mass into specific heat capacity. Now, specific heat capacity, it is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of unit mass of a substance by 1 degree Celsius. Unit of specific heat capacity is joules per kg Kelvin or joules per kg degree Celsius. We can also say calories per gram degree Celsius or calories per kg degree Celsius. Now the definitions, the important definitions of calorimetry. It is the science of measuring the heat absorbed or evolved during the course of change of state or a chemical reaction. Heat is a form of internal energy obtained due to random motion and attractive forces between the molecules in a substance. Unit is joules or calorie. 1 calorie is 4.2 joules. Temperature is the quantity which determines the direction of flow of heat on keeping the two bodies at different temperature in contact. Unit is degree Celsius or Kelvin. Factors affecting heat energy absorbed or evolved by a body. So Q, that is heat, is equal to mass, specific heat, and delta T, that is the rise in temperature or change in temperature. M is the mass, C is the specific heat capacity, delta T is the change in temperature. Now difference between heat and temperature. It is the form of internal energy due to random motion and the attractive forces of molecules in a substance. Whereas temperature, it is the quantity which determines the direction of flow of heat on keeping the two bodies at different temperature in contact. Heat, its SI unit is joule, and temperature, its SI unit is Kelvin. Heat, the amount of heat contained in a body depends on mass, temperature of a substance of a body. Now temperature of a body depends on average kinetic energy of its molecule due to its random motion. Now heat is measured by principle of calorimetry, temperature is measured by thermometer. 1 calorie is the quantity of heat energy required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water through 1 degree Celsius. 1 kilocalorie is the quantity of heat energy required to raise the temperature of 1 kg of water through 1 degree Celsius. Now, the heat capacity of a body is the amount of heat energy required to raise its temperature by 1 degree Celsius. Units is joules per kg or joules per degree Celsius. Q is equal to C dash delta T, where C dash is the heat capacity. That is, heat capacity is equal to mass into specific heat capacity. Specific heat capacity of a substance is the amount of heat energy required to raise the temperature of unit mass of that substance through 1 degree Celsius. Unit is joules per kg Kelvin or joules per kg degree Celsius or calories per gram degree Celsius. Heat capacity, it is the amount of heat energy required to raise the temperature of entire body by 1 degree Celsius. Specific heat capacity, it is the amount of heat energy required to raise the temperature of unit mass of that body by 1 degree Celsius. Heat capacity depends on substance and mass of the body, whereas specific heat capacity does not depend on mass of the body. Heat capacity's unit is joules per Kelvin, and specific heat capacity study about the principle of mixtures, that is principle of calorimetry. So for that you need to know what is a calorimeter. Now calorimeter is device like a thermos flask. It has a copper vessel surrounded by a non-conducting substance like wool, and it has a wooden jacket and a wooden lid on it. Here is a thermometer and here is a stirrer, and there is water inside it. So now you heat a hot solid and you put into this. Before you put the hot solid, you note the temperature of the thermometer. After you add the hot solid, close the lid, use the stirrer, then all the heat of that hot solid is absorbed by the water, and then it shows in the temperature of the thermometer. So then you note the temperature of the water, you note the mass, specific heat and temperature of hot solid, mass, specific heat, temperature of cold water, and then the principle of calorimetry, that is heat lost by a hot body is equal to heat gained by cold body. M1 C1 T1 minus T is equal to M2 C2 T minus T2. T is the final temperature. See, T is in the corner. Okay. So M1 C1 T1 minus T is equal to M2 C2 T minus T2. Very important formula. We'll be using this formula for solving sums. Now, natural consequences of high specific heat capacity of water. As I have told you, water has a very high specific heat capacity. There are many give reasons which come for the school exam and the board exam, but you should know how to write the answers. So I am going to teach you how to write the answers to the give reason. Now answers, the give reasons come for 2 marks, so at least 2 points you should write. Okay, so hot water bottles are used for fermentation. So first point always you should write that water has a very high specific heat capacity, that is 4.2 joules per kg Kelvin. So all the give reason, first point I have taken this. Okay, this has marks. Okay, then second point, for every degree fall in temperature. So whenever you are using hot water, in the bottle, the temperature of the hot water falls. Okay, fall in temperature. Water gives out 4.2 joules per kg Kelvin of heat energy, thus providing fermentation for a longer period. Next, second, radiators in car and generators are filled with water. Water has a very high specific heat capacity. Again, the same point. Every time you are going to use 4.2 joules per kg Kelvin. For every degree rise in temperature, water absorbs 4.2 joules per kg Kelvin of heat energy from the surrounding. As a result, more heat energy from the car generator is removed. So over here, when you are using hot water in car, radiator, it is absorbing the heat energy. So it absorbs 4.2 and that results in the cooling of the machine parts. Now in cold countries, water is used as heat reservoir for wine and juice bottles. So first point is as above, that is water has a very high specific capacity, 4.2 joules per kg Kelvin. For every degree fall in temperature, here the temperature of the water is falling, so it gives out 4.2 joules per kg Kelvin of heat energy, thus preventing the wine and juice from getting frozen. Now farmers fill their field with water during frosty weather. So first reason is the same, that means water has a very high specific capacity, 4.2 joules per kg Kelvin. Second point, for every degree fall in temperature, it gives out 4.2 joules per kg Kelvin of heat energy, thus preventing the crop from getting frozen. Now third point, in the absence of which the capillaries in the plant get frozen and burst, resulting in the death of the plant. Now fifth key reason, base of the cooking pan iron is made thick. By thickening the base of the pan iron, we increase the heat capacity. The second point, heat capacity holds the heat for a longer time and helps keep the food iron the clothes for a longer time. So you can iron the clothes even when you switch the electric iron off, or you can cook the food even after you switch off the gas. That means you have some heat still there. Now sixth point, copper is used in calorimeter vessel. Very important key reason, copper has a very low specific capacity. It is good conductor of heat. Now land breeze and sea breeze. Now how are land breeze and sea breeze caused? Now water has a very high specific capacity, 4.2 joules per kg Kelvin. During the daytime, land gets heated 5 times faster than sea water. The air above the land rises and its place is taken by the cooler air coming from the sea, thus resulting in sea breeze. During the night time, the land gets cooled fast. The sea being warm, the air above the sea rises and its place is taken by the cooler air coming from the land. We are going to study about change of state and latent heat. Now what is latent heat? Latent heat is the hidden heat. Whenever there is a change of state, like for example steam turns to water or water to steam, water to ice or ice to water, there is a change of state taking place. So the temperature remain constant for some time. Like for example, when ice turns to water or water to ice, the temperature remain constant for 0 degrees for some time. And then when water turns to steam or steam to water, the temperature of the content remains at 100 degrees for few seconds. That's because of latent heat. Now why for few seconds the temperature remain constant? The heat energy which is absorbed when ice turns to water is used to break the intermolecular force of attraction between the molecules and to increase the potential energy. Kinetic energy remain constant. Remember, I'll tell you again, whenever the change of state takes place, the heat absorbed is used to increase the potential energy and the kinetic energy of the molecules remains constant. Alright, so now the heat absorbed whenever ice turns to steam, whenever ice turns to water, heat is absorbed, and water to steam, again heat is absorbed. But whenever steam turns to water and water to ice, heat is evolved. Now look at this temperature. So minus x degrees Celsius, it can be anything. Okay, minus 50, minus 60 till 0 degrees Celsius. The formula you use is mc delta T. Okay, because there is no change of state involved. The specific heat for ice is 2.1 joules per gram Kelvin. Then from 0 to 0 degrees Celsius, there is a change of state. So only when change of state, the formula used is ml. Latent heat is 336 joules per gram. 0 to 100 degrees Celsius water, there is no change of state, so use the formula mc delta T. In this, specific heat is 4.2 joules per gram Kelvin. Whenever temperature, there is a change of state taking place, 100 to 100 degrees Celsius, 100 degrees water, 100 degrees steam, that time you are going to use ml, and L is 2268 joules per gram. Specific heat for steam above 100 degrees is 2.1 joules per gram Kelvin. Now these two are out of syllabus. Now the change from solid to liquid phase by the absorption of heat at a constant temperature is called melting. The change from liquid to gas phase on absorption of heat at a constant temperature is called vaporization. Now the definition of specific latent heat. Write it exactly as it is given over here. The specific latent heat of a phase is the quantity of heat energy absorbed by the unit mass of the substance for the change in its phase at a constant temperature. Q is equal to ml. Unit is joules per kg or calories per gram or kilocalories per gram. Now heating curve for water. When water is at 20 degrees Celsius and when you are heating it to the boiling point, the temperature time curve can be drawn like this. Very important, practice it. See, from 20 to 100 degrees Celsius. Just a second, there is a mistake. So from 20 to 100 degrees Celsius, this is 100. So you have to draw a line at 100 degrees Celsius. So from 20 to 100 degrees Celsius, there is a straight line. Remember, the temperature should be 100. Okay, straight line. The water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. So 20 degrees to 100 degrees it is liquid, and from 100 degrees onwards the temperature rises, and then the further after some time it rises. Here you are using ml and here you are using mc delta t. Okay, and T1, T2, T3 are the time in second. For a pure substance, melting point and freezing point are identical. Substances like lead, wax, etc. expand on melting while ice contract on melting. This one line short answers can come in the exam. All liquids expand on boiling. The boiling point of a liquid increases with the increase in pressure and decreases with the decrease in pressure. Then give reason. Cooking at high altitudes become very difficult and takes a longer time because at high altitude, hills and mountains, atmospheric pressure is low, so water boils at a temperature less than 100 degrees Celsius. So this problem can be solved by using a pressure cooker which cooks at a temperature above 100, say about 100 to 120 degrees Celsius is the temperature of content inside the pressure cooker. So that's why it is convenient to use pressure cooker so as the food get cooked. Otherwise, if the temperature is less than 100, food does not get cooked nicely. We are going to study about the natural consequences of high latent heat of fusion of ice and related give reasons. So there are many give reasons come based on latent heat of fusion of ice. You need to know to write the proper answers or answer it in a right way. Otherwise you lose your 2 marks. So I'll make you do all the different types of questions which had come in the school exam and the board exams. So we mostly add sugar while cooking pulses. The boiling point of liquid increases by addition of impurities to it. When common salt is added to water, it boils at a temperature above 100 degrees Celsius. So cooking becomes easier and faster. Kulfi manufacturer adds salt into ice while cooking kulfis. The melting point of substance decreases by the presence of impurities in it. Freezing mixture is prepared by adding salt to ice, which brings down the melting point from 0 degrees to minus 22 degrees Celsius. The heat supplied to a substance during its change of state does not cause any rise in its temperature. The additional heat, that is latent heat, absorbed during the change of state is utilized to, first part, break the intermolecular force of attraction between the molecules. Second part, raise the potential energy, kinetic energy of the substance remains constant. So potential energy increases whereas kinetic energy remains constant. Now fourth question, give reason. Snow on mountain does not melt all at once. Ice has a high latent heat of fusion, that is 336 joules per gram. You have to write this first statement every time whenever there is a change of state. That has marks. Due to this fact, ice changes to water slowly as it gets heat energy from the sun. Fifth question. In cold countries, water in the lake and ponds does not freeze all at once. Ice has a high latent heat of fusion, that is 336 joules per gram. For every degree fall in temperature, ice gives out. So whenever there is a temperature fall, ice gives out. Whenever there is a rise in temperature, ice absorbed. Remember that, whenever you are writing the answer, keep this in mind. So for every degree fall in temperature, ice gives out 336 joules per gram of heat energy to the surrounding, thus prolonging the formation of ice. Drinks get cooled more quickly by adding pieces of ice than ice cold water at 0 degrees Celsius. Ice has high latent heat of fusion, that is 336 joules per gram. Thus, for every degree rise in temperature, ice absorbs an additional heat of 336 joules per gram from the drink, then ice cold water, thus cooling the drink faster. Seventh question. when ice in a frozen lake starts melting, its surrounding becomes cold, or it generally becomes more cooler after hailstorm than during or before hailstorm. So first point, ice has a high latent heat of fusion, that is 336 joules per gram. Second point, for every degree rise in temperature, ice absorbs an additional heat of 336 joules per gram from the surrounding, which result in much cooler atmosphere after the hailstorm. Now activity. Now this activity, you please send it down. You solve it yourself and send it down so that I'll know that you know how to write the answers. You can also send it in Excel Minds WhatsApp group. Now please answer this question. There are 5 questions in all. An equal quantity of heat is supplied to two substances A and B. The substance A shows a greater rise in temperature than B. Give reason. State 2 reasons for every question asked. Ninth question. It takes a longer time to convert water to steam than ice to water. Next question. Wet cloth packs is applied on the forehead of a person having fever. Give reason. Two different bodies of same mass at different temperature T1 and T2 are brought in contact. They will never attain a temperature thermal equilibrium at the temperature T1 plus T2 upon 2 degrees Celsius. Give reason. Last question. Sandy soil gets heated up quickly as compared to wet soil. Give reason. Start with the first numerical of calorimetry. The question is, a piece of iron of mass 2 kg has a heat capacity of 966 joules per Kelvin. Find first apart heat energy needed to warm it to by 15 degrees Celsius. Seconds apart the specific heat capacity in SI units. So then when you want to find out heat capacity, the formula is C dash is equal to Q upon delta T. Now write the particulars down from the question like this. So Q is equal to C dash into delta T. C dash is what? Heat capacity, and heat capacity they have given 966, and delta T, rise in temperature, is 15. So Q or heat will be 14490 joules. Again, you to find out the specific heat capacity. Heat capacity is equal to mass into specific heat capacity. 966 is equal to 2 into specific heat capacity. Send 2 that side. 966 upon 2, that is 483 joules per kg Kelvin. Second question. Find the time taken by a 500 watt heater to raise the temperature of 50 grams of a material of specific heat capacity 960 joules per kg Kelvin from 18 degrees Celsius to 38 degrees Celsius. Alright, so over here the power is given 500 watt, mass is given 50 kg, specific heat capacity is given 960 joules per kg Kelvin, delta T, that is difference in the temperature, is given, that is 38 minus 18, that is 20. You have to find out the time. So when the power and time is given, you have to use the formula power is equal to mc delta T upon T. Okay, so power is 500, mass you just substitute all the values, time you have to find. So cancel, get 1920 second, that is 32 minutes. Third question. An electric heater of power 600 watt raises the temperature of 4 kg of liquid from 10 degrees Celsius to 15 degrees Celsius in 100 seconds. Calculate the heat capacity of 4 kg of liquid, the specific heat capacity of the liquid. So over here the details, particulars you write down like this after reading the question. Power is 600 watt, mass is 4 kg, delta T, rise in temperature, is 15 minus 10, that is 5 degrees Celsius. Then time is 100 seconds. You have to find out the heat capacity, specific heat capacity. Now heat capacity ka formula you know, Q upon delta T. So power will be Q upon T, delta T into C dash, this one, upon T. Substitute the values whatever they have given you, and that's how we can find out the heat capacity. So heat capacity is coming 1.2 into 10 raised to 4 joules per Kelvin. Now to find out the specific heat capacity, use this formula, power is equal to mc delta T upon time. Substitute the values. Specific heat capacity is equal to 600 into 100 upon 4 into 5. Cancel, cancel. You get 300 joules per kg Kelvin. Now fourth question. 45 grams of water at 50 degrees Celsius in a beaker is cooled when 50 grams of copper at 80 degrees Celsius is added to it. The contents are stirred till the final temperature is reached. Calculate the final temperature. Now they have given the specific capacity of copper 0.39 joules per gram Kelvin and that of a water 4.2 joules per gram Kelvin. So over here in the fourth sum, M1 T1 C1 is the specification of the hot body. Okay, hot body is always taken as M1 C1 T1 and cold body is taken M2 C2 T2. Just remember, whenever it's always heat loss by hot water, so that's why M1 C1 T1, the specification of hot water is to be taken and the other one's cold body. So M1 is 45 grams, T1 is 50 degrees Celsius, C1 is 4.2 joules per gram Kelvin. Same thing of copper, mass M2 is 50 grams, T2 is 18 degrees Celsius, T is question mark, final temperature is asked, and C2, that is specific heat of copper, is 0.39 joules per gram Kelvin. Try to solve like this by drawing the picture and all. Heat loss by hot water is equal to heat gain by copper. Substitute the values whatever we've got, solve it, you get the temperature as 47 degrees Celsius. So final temperature is 47 degrees Celsius. It is approx. Now question number 5. 200 grams of hot water at 80 degrees Celsius is added to 300 grams of cold water at 10 degrees Celsius. Now calculate the final temperature of the mixture of water. Specific heat capacity of water is 4200 joules per kg Kelvin. Now over here M1, the mass of hot body is 200 grams. T1 is 80 degrees Celsius. Specific heat is 4.2 joules per gram. Now they have given 4200 joules per kg. But here since the mass is grams, so convert that 4200 joules per kg into 4.2 joules per gram. Don't forget to do that because the unit should be the same. Then next is mass M2 of the cold water is 300 grams. Time is T2 is 10 degrees Celsius. Specific heat capacity of water is 4.2. So heat loss by a hot body is equal to heat gain by cold body. Substitute the values in the formula, and you get the final temperature as 38 degrees Celsius. Just see, try to solve it that way by drawing the diagram and pictures and all. You will find it interesting and you will get the answer. Now next, the temperature of 600 grams of cold water rises by 15 degrees Celsius when 300 grams of hot water at 50 degrees Celsius is added to it. What is the initial temperature of cold water? So temperature of cold water they have not given. So take the temperature of cold water as X. Let the initial temperature of cold water be X. Mass of the cold water is 600. Now specific heat of both of them, they get cancelled because both of them are water. Mass of hot water is 300 grams and the final temperature is X plus 15. Why? Because they have said the final temperature, or in other words, the temperature of cold water rises by 15. So X plus 15, and temperature of hot water is 50 degrees Celsius. Then heat loss by hot water is equal to heat gain by cold water. Substitute in the formula, and that's how you get the value of X, that is the temperature of the cold water, as 5 degrees Celsius. Now question number 7. 1 kg of water is contained in 1.25 kilowatt kettle. Calculate the time taken for the temperature of the water to rise from 25 degrees to its boiling point, 100 degrees Celsius. Specific heat capacity of water is 4.2 joules per gram Kelvin. So all the particulars you write down. Power is 1.25 kilowatt, that is 1250 watt. Delta T, difference in the temperature, 100 minus 25, that is 75. Specific heat of water, that is 4.2 joules per gram Kelvin. Power is equal to MC delta T upon time. Substitute the value, time coming to 252 seconds. You can leave it like this, or when you divide it by 60, you can convert it into minutes, 4.2 minutes. Now we start with the 8th sum. A bucket contains 8 kg of water at 25 degrees Celsius. 2 kg of water at 80 degrees Celsius is poured into it. Neglecting the heat energy absorbed by the bucket, calculate the final temperature of the water. So M1 is 2 kg, T1 is 80 degrees, T you have to find out. Now why we have taken M1 as T, 2 kg and T1 as 80? Because these are the hot body, that is hot water. Hot water is always taken M1 C1 T1 and cold water is M2 C2 T2. So cold water mass is given 8 kg, temperature of cold water is 25 degrees Celsius. We have to find out the final temperature. So now the C get cancelled from both the sides because both are water. So substitute the values whatever they have given, find out the value of T, that is coming to 36 degrees Celsius. Now the 9th question. 40 grams of water at 60 degrees Celsius is poured into a vessel containing 50 grams of water at 20 degrees Celsius. The final temperature of the mixture is 30 degrees Celsius. Specific heat capacity of water is 4.2 joules per gram Kelvin. Calculate the heat capacity of vessel. Now here there are three things. One is water which is flowing out. We have taken water in this vessel as M1 C1 T1 because it is having the high temperature. Now when this water falls into it, you have to take the details about the vessel also and water also, because that's what they have asked. Okay, they have asked the heat capacity of the vessel. Now what is heat capacity? Heat capacity is equal to mass and specific heat capacity. Heat capacity is equal to mass into specific heat capacity. So M2 C2 together combined is C dash, which you have to find out. Now water M3 C3 I have given. Now temperature of both the substances will be the same. Like for example, if you take hot water in the glass, steel glass, then the temperature of the steel glass will be whatever is taken in the vessel. So that way whatever is in the vessel, that same temperature the vessel will be having. So heat lost by the hot water is equal to heat gained by the vessel plus water. M1 C1 T1 minus T is equal to M2 C2 T minus T2 plus M3 C3 T minus T3. So M2 C2 is C dash, that is the heat capacity of the vessel. Now fill in all the values whatever is given. Try to draw like this while solving the sum, so it helps you to get the right answer. Then substitute the values, then solve it, then you get the heat capacity as 294 joules per kg. Now 10 sum. A metal piece of mass 20 grams is heated to a constant temperature of 100 degrees Celsius. Then it is added to a calorimeter of mass 50 grams and specific heat capacity 0.42 joules per gram Kelvin, containing 50 grams of water at 20 degrees Celsius. After stirring the water, the highest temperature recorded is 22 degrees Celsius. Calculate the specific heat capacity of metal. The specific heat capacity of water is 4.2 joules per gram Kelvin. So over here again, whatever is having high temperature, that is taken as M1 C1 T1. C1 you have to find out. Mass of the metal is given 20 grams. Temperature is 100 degrees Celsius. And then the water and vessel details over here. So heat gained by vessel, mass is given 50 grams. Specific heat of vessel is 0.42. Water ka details, M3 is 50 grams, T2 is 20 degrees Celsius, T is 22 degrees Celsius, and C3, that is specific heat capacity of water, I have taken as 4.2 joules per gram Kelvin. So heat lost by hot metal is equal to heat gained by vessel plus water. So hot metal will be M1 C1 T1 minus T. Hot vessel will be M2 C2 T minus T2, and water will be M3 C3 T minus T2. Now substitute all the values properly, and then we get the specific heat capacity of the hot metal, that is coming to 462. Please C1 as 0.29, that is approximately 0.3 joules per gram Kelvin. Please try to solve it on your own without seeing this working. First you understand this whole question and the working, and then try to solve it without the help. Okay, now the 10th question. What mass of liquid A of specific heat capacity 0.84 joules per gram Kelvin at a temperature of 40 degrees Celsius must be mixed with 100 grams of a liquid B of specific heat capacity 2.1 joules per gram Kelvin at 20 degrees Celsius, so that the final temperature of the mixture becomes 32 degrees Celsius. So there are two liquids, liquid A and liquid B, they are both mixed together. So as usual, the one which is having higher temperature is taken as M1 C1 T1. So M1 you have to find out. C1 is given 0.84 joules per gram Kelvin and temperature T1 is 40 degrees Celsius. Liquid B ka mass M2 is 100 grams. Specific heat of liquid B is 2.1 joules per gram Kelvin. Temperature T2 is 20 degrees Celsius. They have given the final temperature also 32 degrees Celsius. All what you have to find out is the mass M1. So using the principle of calorimetry, heat lost by a hot liquid A is equal to heat gained by a cold liquid B. Now substitute in this formula, M1 C1 T1 minus T is equal to M2 C2 T minus T2. So the working over there, if you see, write the values properly. If your calculation is proper, the mass is coming to 375 grams. Now 11th sum. Water initially at 20 degrees Celsius at a height of 1.68 kilometer above the ground falls down on the ground, taking the specific heat capacity of water to be 4200 joules per kg Kelvin. Find the final temperature of water on reaching the ground. G as 10 meter per second square. So now over here we have to use potential energy ka formula because height is given. So sometimes they give you kinetic energy ka formula also, velocity they give you. So kinetic energy is equal to heat energy. So you should read the question properly. If velocity is given, then use potential energy half mv square, and if height is given, use potential energy mgh. So when water is falling from a height, the value is mgh, and when it falls down, the temperature of the water rises. So mgh is equal to mc delta t. Mass get cancelled from both the sides. Gravity is 10. Height is 1.66 into 1000 because it is in centimeter, converting to meter. Specific heat given 4200, and delta T you have to find out. So rise in temperature is 4 degrees Celsius. They have not asked the rise in temperature, they asked the temperature of the water. So the temperature of the water before on top it was 20 degrees, below it rose by 4 degrees. So what will be the temperature of the water? 20 plus 4, that is 24 degrees Celsius. Now activity 2. Please try to solve this question and put it in the comments given below, or for my students Excel Minds WhatsApp group. Please do send the solution of this. Water at 30 degrees Celsius is heated till it attains steam at 105 degrees Celsius. Draw a neat level temperature time graph of the above given specification. So that's the end of the lesson.
Cover up all the topics from this lesson for 2021 board exam. Let me know your comments, and please do like this video and subscribe. Then I can send more videos like this. Till then, bye, see ya.